Welcome to the Overrated Experience Sports and Sports Betting Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Blondin, and we're joined by Austin from Ajax. Say hello.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we're here. We're talking football. We're talking gambling. We're talking betting. And if you haven't joined us before, well, what you're getting into right now is a square slash sharp podcast. And it's kind of in the middle of analytics and action and just downright chasing, which we tend to do. So we're going to give you our plays on the Week 13 of the NFL, look back at Thanksgiving and Black Friday. And just to let you know, going forward, obviously, we're not just limited to football. We talk about all sports. But here today, we're going to focus on the NFL. And here we go. And you can follow us at Overrated Experience, Overrated EXPER2. That's Overrated EXPER2 on X and actually on YouTube. You can follow us at Overrated Experience and check out our video. Right now we're live streaming. So right now we're live on YouTube. We're live on many social media platforms, and we're ready to go here. But before we kick it off, what's going on, Austin, from Ajax? What's new and exciting? Been pretty busy, huh?
Yeah, not much, just working like a dog. Not too much time to follow football, but here we are.
What's new in the cement business? Like what is, let's say you're at a job, you're at a site this week. What is cement related? What is the topic of conversation?
Topic of conversation, cement related.
What's the hot item?
Hot item. I guess the company that I work at, we're doing a lot of drains, but
Really?
Other than that, like hundreds, but not too much to talk about there.
When you say drains, what do you mean? Like what? Because you usually do businesses.
Yeah.
So what would you do there?
So basically, you're working at a big food facility, and they're just replacing all the drains that they have. So it's like 350 per building kind of thing.
Holy frig.
And yeah, it's crazy. And if you can believe it, each one of those drains is worth like something like $1,000. So it's pretty insane. Yeah,
that's a lot of work and a lot of things people wouldn't realize that companies have to deal with.
Yeah, concrete. Fun fact: concrete is the #1 building material in the world.
That we want you to come back with a concrete fun fact every time we sit down and do a podcast. And
oh man!
Now, obviously, notice that you have a new headset. So, what is that? Your gaming headset? Tell us about that.
Yeah, this is my gaming headset. I just found out that it connects to Wi-Fi, so I thought I'd give it a shot. And the voice quality sounds pretty good. So this should be the new standard for me.
Well, you got to remember, I have to listen to you, so like I'll be the judge of the voice quality.
I guess that this would be a fun story to share with the podcast. So I don't always have the best quality because I put my my phone on speaker, and that's how I do the podcast half the time. But we actually use AI to touch it up, which I find is very interesting. Touch up the voice, and that's what makes it quality.
Yeah, it's ridiculous to look at all the tools on here. It's not just AI to touch up the voice, but I mean, if I wanted to, which I haven't done yet, is you can brush up all the. Let's say, for example, you're making noise and you're not speaking. It would get rid of that. All the ums and ahs that we are famous for, we'll get rid of that. So I'm deciding if I should include that. But at some point, we got to be human. We got to be natural. We got to have errors and mistakes. We can't be perfect all the time. So if you're looking for perfect, this is not the podcast for you. We are running live, and maybe we'll touch up the sound, but we're going to keep it clean. All right, so here we go on the Overrated Experience Sports and Sports Betting Podcast. Is we look back on one of the biggest weeks in the NFL. We not only had 3 games on Thursday, but we also had a Black Friday game. We'll kick it off and just take a look back. And man, I walked into that Thursday 12:30 game thinking that the Lions would step up and they would knock off the Packers, but it didn't happen, man. I was expecting the Packers to come in flat, because they usually have that lull, but it didn't. They rolled over this Lions defense, and really, frankly, this Lions defense is very concerning to me. They did not. Aiden Hutchinson, I did not recognize him at all during the game. I forgot he was there. Not a lot of pressure on Jordan Love, and the Packers wound up winning. Josh Jacobs comes back, and they run all over the Lions. I mean, I'm. What do you think of the Lions? Like, I mean, I'm really a little iffy now than I ever was before with their chances heading into. They may not even make the playoffs. It's not looking good.
To me, it's crazy that they might not even make the playoffs, but I do still think they're a legit team. They're not really known for having a top defense. They're known for their offense. I think they still make the playoffs. I'm not necessarily concerned. Losing to Green Bay. Green Bay's a quality team. They got a top defense, so uh, I'm not too concerned. It's definitely you definitely would have expected them to do a lot better by now, but there's so many teams that are underperforming this year that I'm not necessarily looking at the Lions first.
They're third in their division. We're going to talk about the Bears in a minute. Like
Yeah,
that's ugly,
holy
right?
cow.
But so as far as the picks I made leading up to Thursday, Jahmyr Gibbs combined yardage didn't get there. He's still the focal point of the offense. He's explosive. I don't feel bad about making that pick about total yards over 108.5 at the time. He didn't get there. Jared Goff under 238.5 passing yards. However, Genius alert. Genius alert right here. I said David Montgomery would be an anytime touchdown, plus 135 at the time. It moved up to 155. And yes, they pounded him and he scored that touchdown. So genius alert right here. I want to make sure I get recognized for that. At least I got that one. Same game parlay. Goff and Love over 200 yards, 39.5. Again, surprise. I banked my position on that game to be definitely the Lions, but that didn't happen. So move on to the biggest viewed game of the afternoon. That was the Kansas City Chiefs heading into Dallas. Now, what I will say is I had Dallas plus 3.5. I was all over that. I just had that feeling that Jerry's team would step up in the moment. And there's just something off on the Kansas City Chiefs right now, man. They lose by 3 points to the Cowboys. I I don't know. I still can't count them out. I still cannot like put the nail in the coffin. But the Chiefs are in trouble, man. They're 6-6. What are your thoughts on this team? What do you see? And what are you on the side of this is just a blip, or is there real concern here?
I mean, I think there's real concern. I'm not saying they can't come back next year, but this year looks kind of almost like a wash for them. They don't have a winning record right now. It seems to me like it's too late in the season. They're kind of need a miracle to happen. I'd have to look at the record the rest of the way to completely count them out, but I'm not hopeful of this team. And I've always given them the benefit of the doubt, kind of thinking of Mahomes like a guy like Brady that you don't want to bet against. But obviously this year is seeming like a wash. So
Man, and again, I'm a Brady fan, as you know, but I'm not discounting the level of play, the career so far that Patrick Mahomes has had. I will not be the guy jumping in just to save Brady's legacy by bashing Patrick Mahomes. Opposite. I love the fact that there's a Patrick Mahomes out there who's absolutely lit it up, got 3 Super Bowls. He's one of the best of all time already. But the fact that this team is performing the way they are, and if they finish off out of the playoffs, there is no more debate about GOAT, right? Because Tom Brady, if he's been healthy, has never had a season where he's not led the Patriots at least to the playoffs. So I think that's dead if the Kansas City Chiefs go on the pathway they are, and Tom is the GOAT. All right, just want to put that out there. Do you agree?
I already thought he was the GOAT. I mean, their head-to-head record in the playoffs shows it, first of all.
Yeah, that's true.
Mahomes kind of in his prime versus Tom Brady in his 40s, and Tom Brady still got it done. So I don't think you can even make the argument that Mahomes is anywhere close to Tom Brady's legacy.
Now, as far as betting goes, I had the over at 52.5, which paid off. I also had the Dallas Cowboys, which genius again, Jesus alert. I don't want to forget about where I lost, but where I was also a genius was I had Patty Mahomes rushing total over 21.5 yards, which he cleared. However, not such a genius on the completions. He was under 25.5. And also I thought because of 4 straight games, he threw an INT, he would throw another one. It was a good value play. He did not. So that plus 106 did not pay off. But that's it. Cowboys are moving up. The Kansas City Chiefs, not so much. Now we move on to the Thursday nighter. Joey Burrow. Kevin from Home Alone. That's what he looks like, right? That's Joey Burrow comes up and knocks off the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens, although limping along, were what, 5 straight games winning? I think that was the thing. Chasing the Steelers, and they fall off big, and they lose at home. Just, you know what? We saw the Ravens winning, but not winning in impressive fashion, and it really appeared here they could not do anything against this Bengals defense, which is absolutely horrid. So that's a red flag to me that they can walk into Baltimore and knock off the Ravens. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily surprised that the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow won this game, but for the defense to hold up against them is really insane to me. But Joe Burrow, it's kind of like Lamar coming back, right? It's like, oh, they could win every game the rest of the way. It's the same thing with Joe Burrow. This team is not the same without him. So
It's
those
the
are my
same
thoughts.
story. It's the same story with
Yeah,
Cincinnati.
it's
They're
the
going to
same
make a run
story.
here. They're going to make a run here and just miss the playoffs. That's what's going to
It's
happen
almost like this is what they do every year.
every year. Like they get close, and you always think about this is the best team not to be in the playoffs,
Yeah.
but they do it to themselves. Joey Burrow, I walked into this game and I took Burrow's passing yards over, which he hit. I took Jamar Chase over 92.5 yards. He was 100 plus, which is fantastic. When he's healthy, this team's motoring along. But it's just, I feel like he's like glass. Like there's something going to
Mhm.
happen. But he's obviously, when he's healthy, what would you put him? Top 5, top 3? Like, where would you put him in the rankings of quarterback in the NFL?
I'd still give it to Mahomes first, Josh Allen, Lamar, and then Joey Burrow, I
No
would say. So
Matthew
I put him
Stafford.
like I guess I'm if I'm talking this year specifically, obviously Stafford's among all them. I'm more talking here, who would I want to start my team with? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Um, so Joey Burrow might be 4th on that list. But I mean, if it was for 1 year, I'll take Stafford out of all those guys right now.
All right. And the Bengals opening, like, coming into that game were +7, even with Joey Burrow. I cashed in on that, so that worked out. I felt that line was too big. The Ravens were not blowing anybody out, so we got paid. Let's say that we got paid. We can eat today. That's what happened. Now we move on to Black Friday. Bears into Philadelphia. They were +7, and they outright win and win comfortably. And they ran down the throats of the Eagles, and the Eagles didn't look good at all. Offense, not good. Not like this, piss poor. A.J. Brown looked good, but Jalen Hurts is stagnant. I feel like it's just not explosive that you would expect from the Eagles. This is a problem. This is a big problem for the Eagles after blowing that lead against Dallas last week, coming into Black Friday, just looking pathetic. Barkley has no hint of what he looked like last year at all.
Mhm.
Just not good in Philly. Thoughts
Yeah.
on the Philadelphia
Uh,
Eagles?
this is a team I think that almost has to turn it around. They're so talented on every facet of the kind of the game. Defense, offense, so many different weapons. And you know what? I'll give it. I'm more disappointed in the loss against Dallas than I am against the Bears. That was probably one of the worst comebacks, like one of the worst. What am I trying to say here? Collapses that I've seen in recent years of a football game. But I'm not necessarily surprised about the Bears winning. I mean, this Bears team looks like they could be legit. Maybe their defense needs some work, but I think they could be considered one of the best offenses in football. I'd like to know your thoughts on if you think the Bears are legit this year.
Well, that's tough. It's a loaded question, right? So they're 9-3. I mean, they're 9-3. They've obviously taken to Ben Johnson, new head coach's offensive scheme. Caleb Williams has looked better than before, but I will tell you that this is not a quarterback success story, in my opinion. If you watch yesterday's games, he still struggles. And then when I say he, I mean Caleb Williams still struggles to make the easy pass. We see the highlights of him rolling out of the pocket on the run, throwing a bullet, to receivers, but he misses a lot of easy throws, and that's going to come back and haunt him. They relied on the run yesterday, and they smashed the Eagles just running the football. It was not a Caleb Williams like kind of win. It was a scheme win by Ben Johnson, and I think they are achieving a lot, deservedly so. They're getting turnovers. Their D has been, I know you question their D, but their D has been pretty solid. And they shut down the Eagles' offense yesterday with obviously limitations. A.J. Brown ate yesterday, but their offense, I think it's scheme oriented. It's not necessarily Caleb Williams. He's still a step behind, in my opinion. Bad decisions, bad throws, throwing off his back foot, missing easy touchdowns. I didn't get the over I was looking for yesterday. Caleb Williams was under his passing total, which I thought he would at least get over 206.5 yards. But they just kept smashing the run. It didn't matter because the Eagles couldn't stop him. And so I like the Bears. They obviously have progressed. They may even win the division, which is insane when you got the Lions and Packers in that division. But they got the Packers twice coming up in 3 weeks. So they play the Packers next week in the week. They actually play them twice in a 3-week span, which is going to make or break the season. But there's red flags to me about Caleb Williams. I'm sorry. I know he's your boy. I know you love him. I know like you want his autograph and all that sort of stuff. But there's something not 100% right, and it's going to come back and haunt him. He's going to throw picks. He's going to miss passes. Key third down, fourth down drives are going to be stalled because he can't hit an open target. So there's good. The record's great. Coaching has been fantastic, but I think there's still red flags with Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I agree to you to an extent. I just think he has enough weapons on this offense, including the run game, to only take the the really good chances, and it makes him look a little bit better as a quarterback. But I do agree. I don't think he's great. I think he's good. So I'll agree with what you're saying there.
Okay, now we move on to week 13. I can't believe it's actually week 13. Holy shit. It's been a lightning fast season. We've gone through 13 weeks already, and we're coming into the tail end of the season, which is wild. And a lot of things still need to play out. Let me ask you this before we get into this. How's your fantasy? You have 7 fantasy teams?
Eight
fantasy teams. What's kind of the summary there?
So 8, first of all, I want to mention 8 is the most Yahoo Fantasy will allow you to play in without paying more to join more teams. Otherwise, it would have been a 9 this year.
I did not know that. Are you serious?
Really? Yeah, you can only join
limit to 8?
8 of each league, I guess, like baseball, football, you can only do 8. So, or otherwise you have to pay a premium. Yeah.
You do? How much is a premium?
I think it might only be like $5.99 a month or something like that. $7.99 a month.
You actually have to pay beyond that? I did not have any clue. But then again, I'm not in 8 fantasy leagues.
Yeah, you could always start another account and just do it that way. But if you want to access them all from one account and make it simple for yourself, yes, you have to pay.
So you would have been at 9, but because of the pay structure, you stopped at 8.
Or because I was limited. Yeah, I just wasn't able to. I wasn't able to unless I paid.
Now, are you able to keep up with these 8 now?
Yeah, you know what? It wouldn't be like doing fantasy basketball with 8 teams. You only have to set these lines once a week. So I don't find it too hard. You probably have to invest 20-30 minutes a week setting your lines. I don't think that's too much to ask. Usually do it before the Sunday games, just with you have the most updated health information there. So I usually wait till like an hour before kickoff, half an hour before kickoff, and I just set all my lines, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah, you really got to watch, especially, we think fantasy football is at least a little more calm compared to MLB, NBA, where it's daily. NFL still has its quirks, right? You got to make sure you check who's questionable, who's starting, who's not starting, and really take a second, maybe a last look at around 11, 12 o'clock to see who's finally in the lineup or not. Can make or break your week in NFL action. So any tips this week for fantasy football? Any waiver wire pickups you were surprised to pick up? Anybody you would suggest somebody search the waiver wire for?
It might be too late now, being late in the week, but CJ Stroud's coming back, and in my 8 leagues, he actually was a free pickup in one of them. Actually, crazy enough, I think in the 416 league, the league that you run, CJ Stroud was available, and I might have been using Kirk Cousins last week. To see CJ Stroud available, I'm not saying he's the best option, but if he's free, he's definitely worth the add up if you got the spot.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins, you want to dump that You
Oh,
want to
yeah.
dump that right away. Like he's not playing like the Kirk Cousins of past, and probably a smart idea to look at a CJ Stroud option against a Colts defense. We'll get into that in a bit,
Mhm.
which is a big game in that division. Oh, we move on to Week 13. One that we're going to kick off looking at our picks is the LA Rams in Carolina take on the Panthers. Carolina get pasted by the I'm going to say maybe that's an overly that's too strong of a term, but the 49ers handled the Carolina Panthers. The offense is absolutely garbage. I'm convinced after watching that Monday Nighter that they've earned their wins. Like they're 6-6. But it is absolutely critical that they get turnovers from their D. They or the other team makes mistakes. So this offense is no reason why they have 6 wins. Absolutely horrid. Bryce Young looks terrible. Like he looks
Yeah.
absolutely terrible. So they're banking on that their D gets key turnovers at key times. And Horn, their cornerback, is out, who picked off Brock Purdy last week but got concussed. I don't have no faith. I'm going to take the Rams 10.5. So we got 10.5. I'll still take the Rams, and the over-under is 45.5. I'll take the over. Why not? It's overrated experience. I'm going to go with it. What do you think of heading to this game?
You know what? It is a big number, but I think I'm still going to roll with 10.5 too. Rams could be considered the best team in football right now. And, the Panthers, even though they've been kind of all over the place, you're right. They don't really have the talent. They're kind of seem disorganized. I think this is the year, or not the year. I think this is the game where the wheels may fall off and they get crushed. So give me that and give me the over as well.
Now, can you make an argument of this if the season ended today? Can
Mhm.
anybody displace Matthew Stafford as the MVP of the NFL? Can you
No,
make a
I think
credible argument for anybody else?
No, I don't think so. I think he's the clear standout, the clear option. And to be honest, I haven't looked at the updating betting lines, but 2 weeks ago when you could have made some good money on this, even then it looked clear that he was the option. So
Yeah, we talked about this, right? We talked about the betting lines when Josh Allen was the number one pick for
yeah.
many. Now Matthew Stafford is minus 240. Like
Wow.
remember
I,
when he
I,
was
I
plus
told you
money?
guys, yeah, I told you guys a couple weeks ago. I know the record hasn't been the best, but when it comes to this one, I told you guys get on it now, get on it now. And I'll be honest, right now you don't bet it. You've missed your opportunity. But if you've been listening the last couple weeks and you're locked in, this looks like guaranteed money.
Okay, let me throw 4 players that are behind Matthew Stafford, and you tell me, would even any of these names trigger you to reach for your wallet at all for
Mhm.
value? Okay, just
All
like
right, let's hear it.
or are your hands on the table, no flinching at all. So Drake May,
No,
okay, Dak Prescott,
no.
okay, Jonathan Taylor. No, Jonathan Taylor's opportunity was that Chiefs game, and he really
Yeah.
didn't stand out, and that was it. Josh Allen.
No, no, no.
Okay. There's just
Yeah.
nothing. There's nobody
Yeah.
even, in the ballpark right now to contend for that MVP other than Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford's locked in. He had that I don't know if the streak has continued, but he had that like 3-4 game streak with like 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
That's insane,
That does
man.
yeah, that does and you know what? That happened uh and it was under the radar, and that's why I was like, we have to take our chance. So,
You know,
hopefully you guys are locked in.
what I'll say was also under the radar was the fact that Devontae Adams was a free agent,
Hmm.
and if you have a Matthew Stafford and you got a quarterback like that, you load him up with weapons, and that was absolutely a weapon to bring apart and add with Puka Nacua. I think that's like a steal. That's
Yeah.
absolute steal. And they're not just adding him; they're utilizing him. He's the touchdown guy.
Hmm.
Puka's the yards guy, and Devontae is the touchdown guy. Absolute steal of free
Yeah.
agency for the
You,
NFL.
you know what? I haven't thought of it much, but is there another like 1-2 wide receiver tandem that comes close to that duo? I don't think so.
Well, not I don't think so, but you got Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, which is also a pretty damn good duel, man. That's lights out, and that's only the thing keeping the Cowboys alive. It's not their D, although the D has improved over time.
Hmm.
But that's also a 1-2. Anybody else? Any other 1-2 you can think of?
Uh, Addison's fallen off too big this year to
Yeah.
say Jefferson Addison. Addison's looking more like
But the
a second
quarterback
tier
play is
guy.
absolutely horrid, right? So
Yeah,
it's
so you can't blame them. But if you're talking just pure like wide receiver talents, that's up there too. Obviously Jefferson's carrying a lot of the workload, but I can't really think of any other 1-2 right now that comes anywhere close.
well, as we go through the games, maybe we'll think of one. But heading into another game, we have the Arizona Cardinals heading into Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. This line opened up a 3, now up to -4.5 for the Bucks. And 45.5. It was 44.5. So the line moved. And you know why it moved? Tell me why it moved, Austin. Come on, tell me why it moved.
Why did the line move?
Why did the line? No, don't ask me the question. Tell me the answer to why it moved. Come on, I'm putting you on the spot, and I know you don't have an answer. Come on, come on.
The line may have
It's your
moved. Maybe a
boy.
wide receiver.
Your boy.
Mike
It's
Evans.
your boy.
Mike Evans.
No, it's your boy. Who's your boy on Tampa?
Oh, is Baker hurt?
Oh my God. I know that you've been working, but Jesus Christ. So Baker Mayfield had an injury to his left shoulder on Sunday night. He had to leave the game. The odds were, because Teddy Bridgewater had to finish that game on Sunday night.
Well, that's right. I didn't know
and
that.
then
Yes.
the idea was that Bridgewater would probably start this game, but now Baker is playing.
Really?
Baker is playing. That's where the jump is, right? So it was open up as a -3, now -4.5. That's the Baker effect. So you got the Baker effect right there. The Baker's dozen right there. So we got Baker Mayfield back in 4.5. The Arizona Cardinals. What do you think here? I'm scared that Baker's not 100%, but
I feel like I wouldn't be able to call myself a Bucks guy if I didn't take the 4.5 for the Bucks in this game. I know the Cardinals haven't been a pushover team this year, but the Bucks have been really struggling, and I think this is kind of like their easy win in the schedule that they have to get done. So I'm definitely rolling with them. And the over and under for this game,
45.5. It started at 44.5. Now it's 45.
Yeah. I think both teams put up points. I think I go with the over there as well.
Yeah, I think also just to note, Bucky Irving might be back for the Buccaneers, which is huge, right? He's an explosive player. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers need this big time, absolutely big time. They're kind of fading, and if they're getting their weapons back, obviously Mike Evans still out, but if they get more of these weapons, they should take care of the Cardinals. So would you say the over under? What was your pick there?
I took the over.
Okay, so I'm going to go with the under. But I do like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to cover the 4.5.
Yeah. I see the Cardinals putting up 20 as well. And then I think, the Bucks put up like 27. So that's kind of my prediction on the game.
All right. And then we head to another barn burner where I don't think anybody is going to watch, but the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Tennessee to take on the take on the Titans. Titans did do a backdoor cover against the Seahawks at home last week. So it wasn't complete blowout like we thought it would be based on the scoreboard. The Jacksonville Jaguars coming in a little hot. They're a little hot. They won in Arizona. They didn't win easily. They kind of, let it. There's a questionable call at the end where the Jaguars were up 3 and they decided to go for like a 4th and 6, like in the red zone. Instead of kicking the field goal and forcing the Cardinals to chase a touchdown, they didn't make the 4th down and really had to sweat it out to get the win. So there's a lot of questions on maybe even the coaching decisions, what Trevor Lawrence we're going to get. So ideally, if you're still in a survivor pool, this Jacksonville Jaguar team should be a consideration, but this has, even though I'm not going to go with it, it has upset all over it. I feel like I just don't trust. How much on a scale of 1 to 10 do you trust the Jacksonville Jaguars? 10 being like I trust them like with my life.
4 or 5. 4 or 5. But I mean, I do agree with you. There is a little bit of upset potential here, but the Tennessee Titans, it's hard to pull that trigger. Obviously, depending on the spread, but knowing that the Tennessee Titans might be the worst team in football.
Yeah, this is like the worst of both worlds here. I just want to make sure they got the latest spread. Yep, 6.5, 41.5.
6.5?
Yeah, 6.5. What do you think?
Yeah. This is a hard one. You know what? If it's 6.5, I'll roll Tennessee with you. I know it's crazy. I know this is a crazy one, but I'll do it too. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I can't believe I'm doing this too. I'm gonna do it as well. I just don't trust the Jaguars to cover a touchdown. They fuck it up on their own. They find a way to fuck it up. Like, they really do. So, okay, we're going to both roll with the Tennessee Titans. Imagine we had big money on this game, sitting in Vegas watching because we're hoping the Titans cover. That would be the worst. That would be the worst decision ever.
Yeah.
Just sitting there, mortgage on the line because we're hoping, our hopes are banked on Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans. Fuck. Okay.
Maybe after this week we'll both be Cam Ward guys. Who knows?
We could be wearing Cam Ward jerseys after Christmas. There we go.
Yeah.
Actually, if you had to get a Cam Ward jersey, would you get the Titans blue or would you get the white one?
Probably the white one, because that represents more like toilet paper than an actual jersey anyway, so it might as well be white.
Oh, the old toilet paper reference. Okay. All right. So we have Jackson. Okay, so we're both on the Titans, which is psychotic. We shouldn't be doing that, but we did. What about the over under 41.5? It's kind of low. I think the over, in my opinion.
Yeah, give me the over as well. Give me the over there too. Cam Ward goes crazy.
Cam Ward goes crazy. We have no
clear game
faith in the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence. Okay, if the Jacksonville Jaguars cover, you need to grow your hair like Trevor Lawrence.
I don't know about that one. I don't know if I'm going to commit on air.
Come on, a little business in the front, party in the back, haircut. Come on.
All right, if they win by 30, if they win by 30,
you're chucking cement, and hot day in the summer, you're just waving your head around, and come on. All right, so I can't think of a game you would watch less than the New Orleans Saints going into Miami to take on the Dolphins. Do you have any desire to pop this game on, get away from red zone, and really focus on the Saints into Miami? Like, is there any thought that you would head into, let's say, Vegas again and ask them to put on the big TV? Look, can we get that Saints game on there?
I'll say this. I'll say that I'd rather watch this one than the last game, just because it's too hard to predict who wins. Okay. The other game, it's more like you cross it off your list and you're like, yep, I already know how that one's going to play out. But with this one, it's like, it really could go either way. They're not playoff teams, but it could be a good game. Back and forth. Who knows, right? Or it could be both teams shitting the bed. But all I'm saying is, it's harder to predict, and that's probably why I'd want to tune in just to see what's happening.
Okay, so Miami's 5.5 point favorites, and it's 42.5. What are your thoughts on as far as the line here? So, what side would you take?
You know what? I will say Miami's probably Miami's definitely the better team. I always talk about how they got Waddle and A-Chain. They still got a respectable core of talented players. But with the 5.5, I think you go with the Saints. I think it's closer than that, even though I think they're the better team. I think you're looking at more like a 3-point game that honestly could go in either team's direction. I could see Olave having a big game here. So give me the Saints and give me that low.
Olave's questionable.
That low over.
He's questionable. Kamara's out.
Ooh, that's big. If Olave's out.
No, honestly, he's not out. He's questionable. He's not out, but Kamara is out.
Okay.
Alvin Kamara is out.
The Kamara being out's big as well. I'll still roll with the Saints here. If you get that, if you haven't placed the bet yet and you see that Olave's out, definitely don't bet it. This guy's a difference maker. But that's how I'm going with this. And that's a low total. I like the over.
Okay. So you take the over. I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins. And I think that the Saints struggle in the red zone and they can't score touchdowns. They settle for field goals, and I think that Miami has spurts at home where they're playing teams like they did with the Bills. They had the bye week after the big win against the Bills. They can put up points. I think they're going to put up points here against the Saints that have been respectable, but I think they get rolled here. Miami kind of tries to make up for their lackluster season and try to put some points up, and they get it done. 5.5. I also like the over. So 42.5 in a Miami game is way too low. All right. Here's a weird one, man. Here is one that I will be focusing on big time, and that is the San Francisco 49ers heading into Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns were lights out defensively last week in a victory over the Vegas Raiders. Vegas sucks balls. They're terrible. But man, did you watch any of that Monday Nighter against Carolina?
So, although I didn't get a chance to watch, I did follow one specific guy that we've talked about on the podcast, Myles Garrett. And I didn't realize that. And, my information could be wrong here, but what I read was that he was sitting at 18 sacks on the season. And, if he's actually sitting on 18 sacks for the season, he probably is this year's best defensive player. I heard he's going for the all-time record in sacks, which is just absolutely insane. I think this guy changes that defense. Like, just having a guy like that is like it's like a prime Khalil Mack right now. Like,
Ooh.
it's crazy, and I do agree with you. This will be an interesting game, um, but I don't know if just a top defense with the offense that this team has can get it done. I know the rookie also overperformed last week, their rookie quarterback, but I'd like to hear your thoughts, being somebody who hasn't been following football as much.
Well, here's my thoughts on this one is that it moved down from 5.5 to 4.5. So the 49ers
Mhm.
are favorites still. However, there were a lot of red flags on that Monday nighter with Brock Purdy. I mean, like, he came back, he performed, but there were feelings last week that when he stepped back to pass, like you were scared that he was going to throw another pick. He threw 3 picks. All
Wow,
right.
I didn't know
2 of
that.
the 3 were absolutely on him. And there was like, I really felt that he was keeping Carolina in the game. The way his decision making was poor. Uh, I don't know what his thought process was checking down to certain guys he was throwing to, but it was real shaky. And, a Brock Purdy does not want to see a Cleveland defense on the road and probably piss poor weather and Myles Garrett chasing you
Mhm.
down. So I think it's going to be a bad news for the 49ers here. The only thing that will save the 49ers, in my opinion, is that if Shedeur Sanders, you have a week's film on him
Mhm.
now that they could game plan to shut him down. So this is just a weird kind of matchup. I think the defense for Cleveland will be a factor here. Brock Purdy, I do not think will excel here in Cleveland, but I don't know what I'm going to get with Shedeur Sanders. I don't know what he brings to the table. He could be lights out, another performance, solid performance like he had against the Raiders, or he could just be a disaster.
Mhm.
Man, I don't know. I'll tell you what, I'll go based on the Cleveland defense. I'll take the Browns to cover the 4.5 on at home because they're usually lights out D on home. Fuck, it's 36.5. What am I going to do? Am I going to tell you the under? I did that last week with the Raiders. I said the over. They didn't cover Browns and Raiders, but I'm going to take the over here just because out of principle. I can't just let that go. So that's my take. What do you think?
You know what? You've convinced me, and I do agree that the defense is a difference maker. I don't know. I don't know if I'd take them straight up. Before you said it's 4.5, right?
Right? It was down from
Yeah,
five and a
four
half
and a
to
half.
four and
You
a
know
half.
what? 4.5, and the total reflecting how tight of a game, how low scoring of a game this is going to be. Give me the points. I like what you said. Give me the Browns over the 49ers. And you know what? Just a thing to mention. I wonder if they do lose to the Browns this week, being the expected wins. Do they talk about Mac Jones potentially filling this quarterback role?
I think you have to. Like, there was no, let's say this. There was no reason based on Mac Jones's play where you would pull him. And the 49ers have a history with Trey Lance to make those tough decisions that if they feel, I don't care if I just gave this guy a contract. If Mac Jones is the guy, I'm going to go to him. I wouldn't even be surprised if Mac Jones makes an appearance during this game. So I think the leash is very short for Brock Purdy. So expect Mac Jones to potentially, you know what? Maybe even look at the man. I didn't do any player props this week. My apologies, our audience here. No player props, but I'm just looking at even Brock Purdy's passing yards. Let's check it out. Oh, by the way, good call last week on DK Metcalf on the anytime touchdown. Way to go.
Thanks. I had a feeling on that one. He was due. He hadn't had one in a while.
So let's look at the passing totals in this game. Shedeur Sanders is over under 155.5. 55. He threw for 200 plus yards last week.
Wow.
I would take the over just for the sake of principle, man. I can't let that go. I can't have it
155
that
and a
low.
half. Wow.
155.5. Like, do
Yeah.
you think he's throwing underhand? Like, what's going on? So Brock Purdy's 204.5, which is still low, but I just don't see him finishing this game for whatever reason. So Man, I would really consider the under for passing total for Brock Purdy. I don't see
Yeah.
him finishing. Mac Jones is going to be in this ball game one way or another, and he may be taking over for this team. He was light. He threw for like 300 plus yards in his last game before Purdy came back. So I was not a Mac Jones fan, but consider me a Mac Jones fan right now. This
Mhm.
guy had this offense humming. All their tools, all their weapons are back. Juwan Jennings is having a big year. Kittle back. Obviously, we know about Brandon Ayuk's not really going to be back for the 49ers, but they have things. Christian McCaffrey is absolutely nuts. Like this guy, pass, like catch, rush. This guy is absolutely a weapon. So I think Mac Jones makes it sing, not Brock Purdy at the moment. I'm really scared for Brock Purdy. Nothing.
So if you were making that decision, Mac 10 would be starting this week.
I don't think you have time to fuck around. You have to win. You have to
Yeah.
win. And Cleveland is not a good spot to head into on the road and have questions that, oh my God, every time my quarterback steps back, I'm fearful that he's going to make a bad decision. Not a good place. Not a good
Yeah,
place.
and you know what? San Francisco has always been one of those teams that's not afraid to make a quarterback change, you know?
No, they're
So
not.
if they really do lose this week, I think Mac 10 is the starter going forward. I'm almost sure. I'm almost sure of it if they lose this game.
Okay. So we're on the Mac 10 watch here. Okay.
Yeah, where's the Mac 10 MVP odds sitting at right now? No, I'm just joking. I'm
I
just
don't think I
joking.
scroll that far down to get it.
I'm totally
Well,
kidding.
honestly, if he would have hung around, oh, there might have been some thought of Mac Jones.
I
But
don't know if I'd go that far, but
okay.
I know what you're saying. Like he was doing good. He was a guy he you know what? You know, we were talking about potential fantasy pickups. You know, if you are desperate for a quarterback or in a two quarterback league and Mac 10 is on your bench, he could potentially be a stash. You know, I wouldn't if you had to drop somebody good, I wouldn't do it. But if he's a free pickup, you know, he might be a guy to eye being the starter going forward if they lose this game.
I don't disagree with that. Throw him on the bench, see
hmm
what happens.
hmm Especially for a two quarterback league.
Especially with two quarterback lead, and especially as playoff time is coming up in fantasy football very soon, that you might want to throw him on the bench and see what
Yep,
happens. Because
exactly.
he's going to put up numbers.
Mhm.
All right. So what? So we both have the Browns. I took the over 36.5. What was your take on the over under?
Yeah, total being that low, give me the over.
Man, we're suckers for that. All right. Again, another game. There is a lot of fluff. I mean, there's a lot of shit games, like absolute
Yeah.
shit, like absolute flush, don't even look kind of games.
Yeah.
Like, and this is one of them. The Atlanta Falcons are minus 2.5 heading into New York to take on the Jets.
Mhm.
What's again out of 10? What is your scale of interest? 10 being I'm so focused on this game. One being I could care less. Where would you put your focus on this game?
I
Atlanta,
mean,
New York.
I guess you could look at it as either team could win again, but you're right. There's a lot of bad games this week. This is not one I'll probably be tuning into. Um, that's all I really have to say.
There's really not
Yeah,
much
there's
going on here.
not no.
I didn't even look here. Is Tyrod Taylor starting again? I got to assume he is. Yeah, he's starting. Kirk Cousins, your boy. You suggested maybe to dump him in fantasy. Not a great pick there. I'm going to take the Jets. I feel that Tyrod Taylor's like at least a little safer than Kirk Cousins at the moment. The Atlanta Falcons are going to go through that, or they're going to fire Raheem Morris. He's an average guy. He's not your guy that's going to lead this team to another level. Just simply, that's just the way it is. He's not a coach that's going to move forward. I just don't see it. I didn't understand the hire in the first place for a team that you're building from, the draft, and you decided to go with Penix and have Cousins sit on the bench. Now Penix is out. Once again, this franchise is kind of in disarray, not knowing maybe where they're going to be who their quarterback's going to be going forward after thinking you had two. I like the Jets here. I like this game to go over 39.5. Again, because of the low total, I'm suckered in. What do you think here?
I'm actually going to go on the other side with
Whoa.
with Atlanta.
Whoa.
I think that with the key guys that the Jets have traded on defense, that maybe Bijan Robinson can have a big game here, and that's the reason why I'll I'll go with Atlanta, but I will say I do think this game goes under as well, under the 39.5.
Whoa,
Just
under.
just because if it's a Bijan game, which I'm predicting here,
Fair enough.
the running back controls the clock, kills a lot of time, and I think this game moves slowly because of that.
Okay.
And then I see I see the Jets struggling to put up points. I'm not a Tyrod Taylor hater, but 2.5. I think Atlanta covers, and that's my pick for the day.
So Bijan's rushing total is 78.5 minus 114. Does that appeal to you?
Yeah, I would say it goes to at least 90-yard game. Or if I'm setting over under, it's probably like at 90, 85.5. So yeah, give me that prop bet as well. Lock me in for that.
Well, let me throw this out at you. So would you prefer the over 78.5 or the player rush and receiving yardage over under is 115.5?
Give me the rushing yards. Give me the rushing yards.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the rushing yards is what he crushes.
Write it down in the book here. That means it's official.
Let's go. It's locked in.
It's locked in. So what did I say? 78.5 rush. That means you're committed. This podcast now is banking on your credibility based on this pick you made with Bijan. All right, Bijan's your guy.
Bijan's my guy. This week he's my guy.
Okay. Make sure your name's on it, not mine. All right. So that's that. You said the under. We're taking complete opposite in this game. So I'm supporting the Jets on this one. We move on to a very interesting matchup. I don't know if the word exciting is on there, but I mean, I'll pay attention to this one. It's one of the big games in the 1 o'clock hour, maybe the biggest. And that is the Houston Texans with CJ Stroud back heading into Indy to take on the Colts, who look normal. I mean, they looked unstoppable. Danny Dimes, and Jonathan Taylor were running like across the NFL, just destroying teams. But now they've taken a step back. They lost against the Chiefs last week in overtime, pissed away a lead that they could have solidified that division. Now the Texans have CJ Stroud back. They're coming off like just a lights out performance against the Bills, 8 sacks of Josh Allen. This line was Indy 4.5, now down to 3.5. I got to believe because of the confirmation that CJ Stroud is back, but the Colts are still favorite, 44.5. What's your thoughts on this one?
I actually think the Colts get it done this game. I think the Colts beat the Texans here. Maybe I really want to see how Sauce Gardner goes up against Nico Collins. I think that's going to be a big deciding factor in this game. But the Colts also got Jonathan Taylor. I feel like they got more going for them, and that's why I'll take the Colts today. What's the over and under on that?
44.5.
Give me the over as well. I see a lot of points in this game.
Yeah, I'll take the over as well, but I do think a little differently. I think the Houston Texans cover at least 3.5. I think this comes down to a field goal. This Texans defense is real. They're not phony. They're not fake. They're not just a paper, defense that runs up sacks in a blowout. This D is absolutely legit. I still, based on history, watching Daniel Jones with the Giants and somewhat little blips of piss poor play with the Colts, I think we see a Daniel Jones under duress. I think he fumbles. I think he throws a few picks. I don't think this is going to be a good day for Danny Dimes. I think there's going to be questions on, oh shit, this is actually who we have a quarterback, which is better than Anthony Richardson. But maybe I'm overstating it here, but I think the Texans make it hard for Danny Dimes to set up shop and produce. So give me the Texans here to cover. Let's put the K beside the Houston, and let's take opposite sides here.
Yeah. Just a question. Do you think there's any chance, because I don't, but if CJ Stroud struggles, that they talk about putting Mills back in? I don't think so. Right?
Not at this stage, man. CJ Stroud's a franchise quarterback, and unless he's banged up or absolutely horrid, I don't see it. That would just cause more problems than anything else. Just don't see it. I just don't see it.
That guy he really did hold it down.
He did. All right. So we head into the 4 o'clock hour, 3 games in the 4 o'clock hour. I don't know what this peak of interest, where would you put this out of 10? Minnesota taking on your boy Sam Darnold and the Seahawks at 4 o'clock. Sam Darnold, still your boy.
Oh, 100% still my boy. And this is a revenge game, right?
Yeah, fair.
Call it
Yeah,
a revenge game.
you know what? I didn't even think about that. Right, this is a revenge game, and but is it revenge? And is your boy good enough to cover 11.5 points? Do you see
11
that?
and a half.
11.5 points. Yeah.
That's crazy. I know Seattle is relentless. Like, they'll keep piling it on. So you know what? Wow, I cannot believe that line. But I'll choose. I'll take them covering. I'll take
Whoa.
them covering. That is a crazy one. How bad is JJ McCart? I know I've been crap talking him for weeks, but to see this actual line and know he's the main reason because of it is crazy to me.
No, it's
Like
not.
Justin
He's not.
Jefferson's like, after last week, I don't even think I can bet Justin Jefferson totals.
See, now this is where I want to crush your you've been working so hard that you know that JJ McCarthy's not playing in this game.
Really? Did they
He's
bench
out.
him?
He's out. Concussion.
Wow.
Max Brosmer, for the Vikings will be starting quarterback
Who?
for Max Brosmer. Yeah. So
Never
let's look
heard of
at
him.
a little. Well, nobody's going to confuse you for Ian Rappaport on this. Okay, Max Brosmer. He's 24 years old. Let's see. He was New Hampshire Wildcats and a Minnesota Golden Gopher. So he is 6'2", 218 pounds. He's a rookie, right? This is his first year, but he's going to be starting. And I didn't tell you that obviously 11.5 and 41.5. Here's my thought on this: is that I had the Vikings and Packers to go over. That was kind of my teaser game. I dropped the line to over whatever 35, 36 points, whatever it may be. This Minnesota offense was so bad, especially in the second half. They couldn't move the ball at all. And when you're following on your phone, when you're not watching, but you're following on your phone, it just felt like the Minnesota Vikings kept going backwards. It just terrible. AJ McCarthy's a problem. This is a big problem for the Vikings that they banked on him being their franchise quarterback to let your boy go, Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
And it's not paying off. I thought it would be more successful, so I was wrong there. I thought that they felt that Sam Darnold could only take him to a certain level, but JJ McCarthy's going nowhere right now. He's absolutely horrible. Kevin O'Connell, the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, when he first came aboard in the first couple seasons, he was able to get a lot out of quarterbacks that stepped in, when Kirk Cousins was hurt, for example. Getting wins, for quarterbacks that are, coming off the bench, but it's a complete opposite right now. He's doing nothing with JJ McCarthy, and it's a red flag that he may not be the guy going forward. Max Brommer, with whoever this guy is, can't be worse. He can't be any worse than JJ McCarthy, and all he has to do is make a few passes to get the ball in the hands of, Justin Jefferson and Madison. He cannot get worse. So I think that somehow they are in a better position with maybe a credible quarterback that just is average. That's all they need. So I like them to cover the 11.5. I think there's a story here that this guy might be, impactful. Do they win? Probably not. But I like them to cover. I like this game to go over 41.5. What was your thoughts on the over here?
Yeah. Over 39.5. Give me the over 39.5.
41.5.
Oh, 41.5. 41.5. I'll still take that number. I'll take over 41.5. I think you're right. The situation can't get any worse. Give us some average quarterback play, and the Vikings are probably better. Yeah. But I'll believe it when I see it. I know that it's a team that beats up on weaker teams and just is relentless when they're up. And it is a revenge game. So give me Seattle with those points.
Seattle with the points.
Yeah, I like what you're saying though. I completely agree with you. And I just want to say one of the biggest tragedies in football is Justin Jefferson not having a quarterback.
Yeah, it's a waste. It's a waste. And we always wonder why, receivers yap and they piss on, like, I want the ball, whatever. It's because you find yourself in a situation like Justin Jefferson is right now.
Yeah.
He has no recourse. He has no ability to change the fact that he doesn't have a quarterback to get on the ball.
Yeah, and you know what I want to say? As baby as it seems, as like childlike as it seems, like AJ Brown being the perfect example. It's like this guy, he'll whine and complain, but then it always seems to work out for him. They start feeding him the ball because he's complaining, and it's sad to say, but it works.
Yeah, and if it, there wasn't many bright spots for the Eagles yesterday, but
Yeah,
AJ Brown was one of them. Like
yeah,
he made some plays that only an AJ Brown type of receiver could make,
yeah.
especially trying to come back. So there is some truth to what you're saying. But speaking of receivers, how good is Jackson Smith and Jigba? How good is this guy?
Right
Holy
now, he's
cow, man!
considered the best receiver in football right now.
Like he's amazing. Like look at his. Okay, let's go through his last. Let's say does like a lot of games. So last game, 8 receptions, 167 yards, 2
Holy
touchdowns,
shit!
9 receptions. The previous game against the Rams, 105 yards, 5 reception, 93 yards, 129 yards, 123 yards, 162 yards, 132 yards, 79 socks. You guys garbage. 96, 103, 124. Amazing is this guy.
Yeah,
Like he's out.
he
He's so underappreciated in the
yeah.
NFL. It's insane.
He is, I don't know if you're aware of this, and I'm sure you could guess it, but right now, if you're redrafting in fantasy football, JSN is the number one player. He is the number one most valuable player in fantasy. He does all this. He's kind of like putting like Puka Nakua numbers,
Yeah.
but he has no injury risk. He doesn't play football the same way, but man, is he good. Man,
He's
is he
smart as
amazing.
hell too.
And
Like, yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying that it's the main factor because I think he's talented regardless, but it's good, him and Darnold, like, man, they're what a duo. What a duo. Like, I know you're not necessarily the biggest believer in Sam Darnold, but like, man, is he getting full usage out of him. Sam Darnold, even if he's not the most talented quarterback, he gets usage out of his guys, and that goes a long way, you know?
You know, they say the chicken or the egg. Who's helping who?
Yeah.
Sam
Who
Darnold
is yeah.
helping because of Njigba or Jigba's
Yeah.
because of Sam Darnold?
But hey, you still got to be good enough to use those weapons. You know what I mean? I think Darnold is not. He's good enough to get you by if you have the weapons. And that would have been all the Vikings needed. If the Vikings have Sam Darnold, I'm thinking they're a 10-win team, straight up. And it's like if you're telling me all those wins aren't worth paying the guy, I don't know what it is.
That's true. All right.
Yeah.
So that's that. So you like the cover. Sorry, I like the Vikings to cover. I'm gonna get a Max Brosmer jersey, for the Vikings. He's my guy now. But you like Sammy Darnold, and Njigba looks to have a outstanding, huge performance once again, like he's done all year. Underappreciated for sure. Now, if we look at the 4 o'clock hour, the game of the day has to be, and I don't think we can argue this, is that the Bills go into Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is back with the Steelers. Steelers lose last week to Chicago. Mason Rudolph is a serviceable backup quarterback, but the NFL is so telling because when you're a backup quarterback, it's so hard for you to take that next leap to be the starter. You can't
Yeah.
be so bad to not be considered a backup quarterback, but you have your limit. That's it. That's all you have. You're a backup quarterback. And that's
Yeah.
what Mason Rudolph is. And the only hope that the Steelers have of doing anything is if Aaron Rodgers is dialing up.
Yeah.
So that's glad he's back. The Bills coming off that loss to the Houston Texans. Dalton Kincaid, I think, is out. I think he's still questionable heading in. Most likely won't play. But this game is now down to 3. The Bills were 3.5-point favorites, now down to 3. 47.5, the over-under. What do you think's going on here?
I gotta go with the Bills, and man, I just want to say, you're completely right about Mason Rudolph. I was watching that game. That was probably the game I was most locked into. Steelers and Bears last week, and to see him throw an interception on the first play, I was like, man, this sucks. And they did keep it competitive, but obviously after the Bears also beat the Eagles, you feel a little bit less worse about them beating the Steelers, or the Steelers losing, I guess. Um, but I think I still got to go against the Steelers today. You know, the Bills are a playoff team, and yeah, I think 3.5 is honestly too low. Give me the Bills.
Three. It's three. It's just
Oh,
it's
sorry, it's
three.
3 on the
Yeah.
dot. Okay, then I'm even more happy about it because I get that push if it's a 3-point game. So definitely lock me in there.
Look, I'm going to change my mind here. I was going to go ride the same thought process you were, but I'm going to
Yeah.
go with the Steelers. I just envision every so often this Pittsburgh D lights it up. TJ Watt, making things uncomfortable for the quarterback. And the Bills have shown that they can't stop a pass rush, a good pass rush. So
Hmm.
I'm going to go with the Steelers on this one. Quick change. I mean, I agree with everything you're saying, but let's go. I'm just going by, a thought, a feeling, and the Steelers somehow get to Josh Allen, make it rough for him. And we see when that happens, they can't overcome when they cannot block. Like, it's just simple as that.
Yeah. And
47.5, is that too high or is that too low?
uh, uh, give me the over as well.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the under. I just see this as like a scrappy kind of game. But sorry, you had a thought. I cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to, I mention this every single week. I'm like a broken record on certain subjects, but the Steelers, and this is helping your case, not my case, but the Steelers are a way better team at home.
And they're playing at
So,
home, so there
so
you
I'm
go.
less confident about my bet, but I'm still, the Bills. I want to believe Josh Allen is that guy. So
Okay, all right.
I'm rolling with Josh Allen.
Rolling with Josh Allen. That's not a bad thing to roll with, but based on last week's performance, not the play to make. But we'll find out, and we're going to go now to a game which we expect it to be one-sided. The LA Chargers host the Vegas Raiders. Vegas comes in as 9.5-point underdogs. This over-under is 42.5. It's 40.5. It went down again. So 40.5 from 41.5. Now, the Raiders, what's the defensive court? Special team coach they fired a few weeks back after the game against Denver. They fired their special teams coordinator. Now, after the game against the against the Browns, they fired their offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly. So Chip Kelly's out. And there was reports, like, this is how fucked up the Vegas Raiders are, that Chip Kelly, their offensive coordinator, was calling plays that were not worked on during the week. Like, it would be confusing he was throwing things in there that wasn't part of the plan. Like, that just tells me how dysfunctional this team is. That
Hmm.
if the issue is not just that he was ineffective in his play calling, but if the reports are true that he was, off, on a different page than the quarterback, this team is messed up. And by firing your special teams coordinator, firing your offensive coordinator is just a shell game to the fact that Pete Carroll has no control of what's going on with the Raiders as head
Hmm.
coach. And it's getting ugly. So I have no faith, zero faith in the Vegas Raiders. I'll take the Chargers all day on this one. And the over under, I'm gonna go 40.5 over. God damn it, I have to do it. Sorry, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying. You kind of strengthened my opinions to this game. So I'm taking it the exact same way as you. Give me the Chargers getting the points and give me the over. Justin Herbert could go crazy here. He could be like a big quarterback play. He could be number one quarterback in fantasy this week. I
416. I
I
got
like I
Justin
like this
Herbert.
play.
What about
That's
McConkley?
yeah, he could have a big game too. This team has a lot of weapons. I'm not exactly sure where it's going to go, but Ladd has been, he made a big comeback in kind of the second half of this year. He started off a little slow. Now he's full go. Give me the Chargers. Let's go.
235.5 is Justin Herbert's passing yards. Do you think he goes over that?
Yes, easily. 250 for sure.
Okay, and McConkley, over 51.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. 416. I need that win. So
Let's go.
we're almost in playoff time, man. Fantasy football's coming down to the.
I'm sitting in the buy spot right now in week 2 for your league. I'm pretty excited about that one. It's
Okay.
probably my best team that I have.
Yeah, that doesn't help me at all. All right. So we also have the Sunday Nighter, which man, they should have flexed out of this game because they have the ability on Sunday nights to, a couple weeks in advance, flex out of the game to move to another game. Right now, Denver is in Washington to take on the Commanders.
Yeah.
What game would you have, like, if you were NBC and you had to push a game into the 8 o'clock hour, which game on this card would you have taken to push to
I
this
mean,
time?
I guess it would be the Steelers game then.
Yeah.
The Steelers Bills would have been the
Yes.
easy play.
Not the
But I
Falcons
mean,
Jets.
but I will say there were so many bad games this week that I'm glad it wasn't like this isn't like the worst game imaginable. It's just kind of like an average game, I would say. Yeah.
Well, the Broncos are 5.5-point favorites. This is down from 6.5 where it opened up, and the over-under is 43.5. Let me just double check that, make sure that line still holds true. Yeah, the Broncos, man. We're talking about the division leading Broncos in the AFC West, and they are significant. 9-2. This Broncos team is probably going to, chalk up another win here. Walk in this division. Did you see this coming? Bo Nix and Sean Payton have led this team most likely to a division title, and you're talking about a division that has the Kansas City Chiefs in it. Are you shocked in how they're playing? Are you surprised, or is this something that you expected?
I'm not shocked about how they're playing. I'm definitely shocked about how the Kansas City Chiefs are playing. But Denver's been known for the last couple of years to have one of the best defenses in football. And then you got Bo Nix with the super strong arm. I know their offense has been a little shaky this year, but I think they're legit. I think they're a quality team. They say defense wins games.
Right.
Me and you have also talked about Surtain maybe being the best defensive player in football, at least top 3. So I'm not surprised. And I think they win this game and they cover. Sorry. I just want to confirm before I lock it in though. The total was 3.5.
So the 5.5 for the Broncos.
5.5.
Yes.
I still like that. Jaden Daniels is still out, correct?
He's out.
Yeah, so
He's out.
the fact that Jaden Daniels is out and this offense for Washington has been struggling all year, I think it's an easy pick.
Okay, so yeah, I just can't see myself taking the Commanders. With no Jaden Daniels equals average at best.
Average at best,
opinion.
yeah.
43.5. Sorry, what'd you take there? Do you want the over? You want the under?
Give me the over.
Over. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to take the under. Surprise. Under. All right. Now we have the Monday Nighter to wrap us up here. Jackson Dart is back as the Giants head into New England to take on the Patriots. The AFC, look at this. We just came off a game where we were talking about the AFC West. Denver Broncos looking to probably run away with the division. Now we're talking about the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Non-Tom Brady New England Patriots looking to run away with the AFC East. Is this wild or what?
It's crazy. It's crazy to see that they're so far ahead of the Bills right now. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's kind of wild that it's got this far. I knew that Vrabel would be a positive impact. Drake May looked like to be rising, but to put together the wins that they've put together, it's very shocking, and the Bills have fallen back. So we'll see what happens and how it plays out as the playoffs roll around, and the Patriots will be there, which we didn't see coming. I didn't necessarily see it coming, but they will be, and they'll be a force to be reckoned with. Now, we have the Patriots at home, 7.5. Is there an upset special potentially here?
No, I don't think so. Do you?
Come on, we're supposed to end this here. Drama, man. Drama.
No, I think the Patriots steamroll. I don't know. It's a good Patriots team. I don't want to doubt them anymore. I don't necessarily think against each other they beat the Bills. But I think they run the table and they control this number 1 seed the rest of the way.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I mean, I can't see how Vrabel. Here's my thoughts on this. I guess I see Vrabel as a smart defensive-minded coach, where I think he'll have a game plan against Jackson Dart coming into this game. I think they cover the 7.5, and also if you're the New York Giants and you have a returning rookie quarterback that's coming back from a concussion, do you put some limitations or strict guidelines on Jackson Dart when he takes off out of the pocket?
Oh, 100%. Because you want this guy 100% ready and healthy next year. You're not fighting for anything this year. So I think, they should be playing it safe. And they shouldn't be doing risky things.
And if Jackson Dart doesn't have the free autonomy to roll out and run as he sees fit, is he really as effective? Like, I mean,
You're completely
his legs
right.
have been like the whole thing has been successful for him.
Yeah, he's been rushing for what, like 40, 50 yards a game.
Yes.
He's been rushing for. Like
Yes.
that's a difference in a game.
I
like
just don't
what
see
you're
it.
saying.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
see him being able to take off. I think he's going to take the safe approach.
Yeah.
So I don't like this for the Giants.
Yeah, I think that translates to a lot more punts. That's for sure.
We should check the over under in punts. That'd be good.
I've never bet over and under in punts, but honestly, that might be.
Imagine like cheering in a Vegas book because yeah, another punt. We got the over one more punt.
Yeah.
Like, oh, but there's degenerates out there that do this shit. So, all right. So that's the last one. But the over under 46.5. I'm going to say under. What do you think of this? 46.5.
Yeah, give me the under 2. I don't see the Giants putting up points, right? We said a lot of punts, so that means a lot of time taken off the clock. Give me the under for that one.
Okay. So you like a lot of punts here. All right.
Yep.
You're basically doing your scouting on the punting situation.
I'm the punt guy now.
You're the special teams guy. You're the punt guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up week 13, Thanksgiving week for the NFL. Obviously, next week we got week 14 coming up and some exciting near the end of the season matchups. And we'll get back at it again next week. Any final thoughts? Anything about sports? Anything about life you want to talk about before we go?
So my work schedule this week should be a little lighter, so I should be more locked in, have some more prepared player props, for example, for next week. Definitely been out of the loop this week, but I think next week I might come with some more concrete picks, let's say.
And you also said a little lighter. I don't think the cement business, there's anything light about the cement business, is there?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Well, the over-under, the over-under. Holy crap, man. The Overrated Experience. It's been a pleasure to reach out to our audience in Austin. There's a lot of people in the U.S. and around the world that are listening to your voice. So there's no limitations who's listening to us. So we're glad to have you here. We're glad to go through another week of NFL action and betting action. So the over-under, man, I'm doing it again, over-under. The Overrated Experience, the pleasure's all been yours, but we are out of here and gone for another week. We'll see you next week with week 14. Bye-bye.
Awesome from Ajax, out.
All right. Bye-bye.